Andy Weeder from the Chicago Tribune. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. I got two for you. First and foremost, specifically, why was this an attractive destination for you? What attracted you to come to Chicago?
Well, I think, I had a past relationship with Bill Lazor, which was one. And just seeing at this point in my career, you want to join a team that is competitive, that is doing things the right way, is trending in the right direction. And to get a chance to come in and start for a team like this, I mean, that's a great opportunity for me and just for my future and my career and everything. So whenever this whole thing, was working out, I was excited about this opportunity and looking forward to what's to come.
Andy, the reception in the city has been a little chilly in the first couple of days since you signed. I'm curious how much of that you've noticed and what your reaction is.
I mean, I obviously know there's been a lot of talk, and but I'm coming in from the outside. A lot of people don't know a ton about me and are going to get to learn a lot about me while I'm here. And so that's all I'm worried about. And so for me, I'm here now, and hopefully everybody gets a chance to see who I am as a player, as a person, and see what we're going to be able to do with this organization. And so I'm excited about the opportunity. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk, but I'm not worried about any of that.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Andy, welcome. Adam Johns here from The Athletic. Going back to last year, I know you weren't released from the Bengals until after the draft, but I'm curious, what sense did you have of the Bears' interest then, and then how did it really take off now as opposed to last year?
Yeah, it was different for me last year because I was still on the Bengals through the whole free agency process, and then I didn't get released till after the draft. So, there really wasn't a ton going on there. And so this time, obviously being a free agent, getting the chance to sign with whatever team that I wanted to is, starting with the league the new league year. And I think it was a completely different situation.
Colleen Kane.
Hey, Andy, I'm Colleen Kane from the Chicago Tribune. I was just curious, what was your experience like working with Bill Lazor in Cincinnati, and how do you think that will help you here?
Bill and I had a great relationship. He's quarterback coach, and then he took over as offensive coordinator. And so I really enjoyed my time working with him. And so it wasn't just him as a coach, it was him as a person, him as a friend. And so, I think that's going to make this whole transition here a lot easier just because we have this past relationship. We kept in contact, throughout the years, even when he wasn't in Cincinnati. And so, I'm excited to get back to working with him and see what we can do offensively.
Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Andy, Kevin Fishbane here from The Athletic. Welcome to Chicago. When you look back at last year in Dallas and kind of how things ended in Cincinnati, how much has that kind of shaped the quarterback you are now? And how do you see how those 2 years have kind of molded you to where you are today?
Yeah, my last year in Cincinnati went through a lot. And then going into the off season and then getting released when I did in May, and then kind of going through that process and then having the year in Dallas, I've grown a lot. And I've learned a lot from all the different experiences that I've gone through with that. After being a starter for 9 years and then, accepting the backup role in Dallas last year, thinking that I'm there to support and help Dak in any way that I can. And then obviously with him getting hurt and then me back into the, back in the starting lineup and getting a chance to play again. And then even the stuff that I had to deal with getting a concussion and then COVID right after that and dealing with all the things that went on. I've grown as a person and grown as a player, and I've learned a lot from all these experiences. So, I don't take for granted the chance and the opportunity to play and to be the starter. And so that's another reason why this is so attractive. You got a chance to come in and be the starter from day one and to bring a lot of my experience and a lot of what I can do to this team, this organization, and be really productive offensively.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Andy, Adam Hogue from NBC Sports Chicago. You're talking as if you're the starter. What kind of assurances have you been given by the Bears that they're done at quarterback, that they're not going to be making any other moves to bring in more competition for you?
They told me I was a starter. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to come here. And so every conversation I've had has been that. So that's the assurance that I've got.
Dion Miller.
Hi, Andy. I'm Dion Miller from ABC7. You mentioned that fans don't know who you are. So what can you bring to this quarterback position that has been missing? What kind of a quarterback on and off the field are Bears fans getting?
Well, for me, I'm only going to talk about me. I'm a guy that brings a lot of experience. I've played in a lot of games. Have done a lot in this league, and so for me, I think that's a big part of it. It's not just about the game of football. It's bigger than that. The impact that we can make with this platform that we have is getting involved in the community and all the different areas of it. And for me, being a great teammate, doing everything that I can to help this team, this city, and bring a lot of excitement. So I think that's one thing that I'm sure people have seen me from afar and don't know a ton, but hopefully people get to know me as time goes on.
Brad Biggs.
Hey, Andy, Brad Biggs from the Chicago Tribune. Was Chicago your top spot when you looked at the market coming into this week? Like, that's the number one place I want to be. If so, why? And then what do you think about the skill position talent on the roster right now?
Yes, no, this was definitely the place that I wanted to be. And so once this whole thing got started and communicating with everybody, this was a great situation, a great fit. And so I'm glad this whole thing worked out. And just, talking about all the reasons why I want to be here, you look at this roster, it's got a great mix of veteran leadership and then a lot of young talent. And so when you see it from all the different positions, there's, it's all across the board. And so from this group, I'm excited to get to be a part of it. I'm excited to get to meet everybody and get working and get this thing rolling.
Jason Leisure.
Andy, Jason Leisure from the Chicago Sun-Times. The Bears had a lot of issues offensively beyond quarterback. What do you think you guys can do with the personnel you have now that you're here?
Yeah, I'm excited to get to working with Matt and Bill and just talking through offensively what we want to do, and to bring my experience with it, to talk through things that they're going to want to do, things that they're going to want to do different, and make this thing work for everybody. And so, that's what these next several months will be used for, is trying to figure this thing out and get this thing how we want it. And like I said, it's all about being really productive offensively, and that's our goal.
So you intend to be part of that process of tailoring the offense for what it's going to be in 2021, almost like another coach?
For every conversation that I've had, it's been fun to see just the work environment that we have here. And so to see the relationship that Bill has with Matt and Flip and, all the things that we're going to be doing, I feel like it's going to be just a great group effort along with everybody. Because at the end of the day, I'm the guy that's out there. I'm the one that's going to be playing. We want to make this thing, work for everybody. So I definitely feel like I'll be part of that.
Patrick Finley.
Hey, Andy, Patrick Finley with the Chicago Sun-Times as well. I'm curious what you learned about kind of the circus when you were in Dallas for a year that maybe you didn't know about when you were in Cincinnati. Everybody, there was so much attention on Dak. And then, like you said, you had COVID, you had an injury. Did you go through an experience that you hadn't gone through before in terms of just the attention on you and the attention of a city?
No, it was different because of COVID. I thought last year I was going to sign with the Cowboys and I was going to get to experience something completely different and everything. But I think COVID limited a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the Cowboys are talked about a lot, and you definitely see that. But I wouldn't say that I experienced anything that I hadn't experienced in the past.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Andy, Mark Potash from the Chicago Sun-Times. What other options did you have to start in free agency? And also with regard to the Bears offense, I know you've spoken a little bit about it, but what is your vision of this offense? What have they told you, or what do you know about this offense that you can apply your ability and given the personnel to, what do you see there's a potential for you in this offense?
Yeah, I think, one, I had several options and I felt like this was the best fit for me. And so I'm glad this thing, like I said, I'm glad this worked out where I'm able to be here and be part of this. And offensively, I think we want to be multiple. We don't want to have just one identity of this is what we're going to do. We want to be able to change tempos. We want to be able to spread people out, but also go in condensed formations and do different things. I think just the versatility that we want to bring offensively is, gives you the advantage from shift in motion to all the different things that go along with playing offense. And so I think that's the thing that we're excited about. There's stuff to build on from what this team was able to do last year. And, for me, I'm excited to kind of dig into the playbook and dig into the tape and see exactly how we want this thing run.
Thank you.
Mark Grody.
Hey, Andy, Mark Grody with the Score and WBBM. Would it be fair to say that you would not have come here had you not been told or assured, as you said, that you were going to be the starter?
Well, I think that was part of the consideration. I mean, whenever you're going through the process, this was my first time to hit it, when the new league year started. And so, when you hear that you're going to be the starter, that's an enticing pitch. So, yeah, if it would have been different, maybe the things would have turned out differently. But it wasn't. This is what this is how it's supposed to be.
Mike Berman.
Hey, Andy, Mike Berman from NBC5 in town. I'm wondering, have you talked to Nick Foles? What's your relationship like with him? Have you spoken with him since the decision was made? What are you expecting in terms of that quarterback room and the collaboration between you two?
Right. Yeah, I've known Nick for a while. Texas guy. I watched him in high school. So, we've known each other and been around each other some. So I've talked to Nick. I think it's going to be a great working relationship. And so I'm excited to actually get to be on the same team with him and get a chance to play with him.
Stacey Dales.
Hey, Andy, my question for you is, when you had that run in Cincinnati in the nuances of your career, the 4 trips to the playoffs and the great records, what were the ingredients that were a part of those teams that you can sort of parallel to how you see yourself fitting into this Bears team?
I think what was so good about those teams, it was a group that was playing really hard for each other. I think there was a lot of trust in the guy next to you, and we were playing complete football. It wasn't just we were good offensively, we weren't just good defensively. We were good as a team. And so the games that we had to rely on the defense and we weren't getting it done offensively, we were able to do that. And we were able to win those close games. And same thing the other way around. There's times where we needed to score 30, 40 points and we were able to do that. And so I think that was what was so good about those teams. And you see this team, it's a complete team. And there's a lot of talent, a lot of great guys on this team. That's one thing that with talking with Matt and Ryan, just the culture that they've created here, I think that's such a big part of it. And so, I think that's what makes a good team. There's more than just the skill at what you can do as a football player. It's just what kind of teammate you are and what you're going to do for the guy next to you.
Thank you.
Sean Hammond.
Hey, Andy, Sean Hammond with Shaw Media here. Welcome to Chicago. I'm just curious, did you know Matt Nagy at all prior to this process? And I guess what are your thoughts on collaborating with him moving forward?
I was with Matt at one of the Pro Bowls that I've been to. And so I had got to know him a little bit. I wouldn't say that we had a close relationship, but I just kind of got to meet him and get to be around him for that week. And then just with talking with him throughout this process, it's been fun to get to know him a lot more and to see how he has this organization and the way he runs this team and just the expectation and everything. And so I'm excited for just what we're going to have here and getting to know him more and getting to work with him and to make this team and this offense the best that we can make it.
Andy?
Hey, Andy, Andy Seligman with the AP. I'm just wondering if you've had a chance to have any discussions or texts or messages from any of your new teammates and specifically with Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of guys on the team, and so it's been awesome for me to join a new team and to have so many guys reach out and so many guys just welcome me to the team. So I'm very thankful for that. I think it just shows to the culture that we have here and how good of a group this team has.
Has there been any contact with Allen Robinson?
I have not talked with Allen Robinson yet, no.
Dan Wiederer?
Andy, just following up on that with Allen, what are your impressions of obviously the guy who's the most proven playmaker in this offense and what within your skill set can help him be at his best?
Allen's a great player, and I've watched it from afar. I've been on the other side, playing against him. And so, he can do so much. He's so good when the ball's in the air. He can separate, and he's a complete receiver. I think he can kind of do it all. And so you love to see that. You love to have a guy that, that when they're one-on-one, that more times than not, they're going to make those the play and give him a chance to do what he can do. So I'm excited about getting to work with him. And, he's got tremendous skill, and he's proven that year in and year out.
Adam Hogue?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think my hand was up from earlier. I'll pass.
Pat Finley?
I didn't know we were allowed to pass. I'm curious, Andy.
All right, next. I'm just kidding.
What did you know about the Bears offense from afar? And what did you do to study it kind of when you knew that this might be a possibility?
Right. Yeah. I watched a lot of film on the Bears going into this thing. And we're talking with the coaches, it's like, okay, what exactly do we want to be offensively, and, watching certain games and different things. And so, I knew that, the last part of the season, they really got things rolling and with the run game. And I think they got the line settled and figured out, put some guys in some different places and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's fun for me to just sit down and watch, okay, what pieces do we have? What does this look like? Where can we take it? And so, I definitely did my homework and watched a lot of film.
Cheryl?
Hi, Andy. Cheryl Ray Stout from WBEZ Radio in Chicago. What was the semantics like? How was this process done? Was it done just by Zoom, or did you have meetings, and who did you meet with?
Yeah, everything's on the phone. And so, once the whole thing gets started, I talked with Bill, talked with Matt, and then talked with Ryan too. So I was in contact with them, throughout this whole process. And so, a lot goes into it. You have to make a decision. They have to make a decision. And at the end of the day, this thing worked out how we were hoping it was going to. And now I'm happy to be part of this organization.
Did you meet with George McCaskey?
I did not know.
Thank you.
Chris Emma?
Andy, Chris Emma with the Score here in Chicago. You've had a very accomplished career, 3-time Pro Bowler, playoff appearances. What do you feel like you can prove here in Chicago? What do you want to prove?
Yeah, I would love for this to be the last place, that I play. I'd love to finish my career here and, get established. And so, for me, this is the second half of my career. I want to play really good football. I want to help this team win a lot of games. And, I want to bring some excitement to this city. So I think that's just kind of where I'm at and what I'm looking forward to.
Kevin Fishbane?
Hey, Andy, there were a lot of reports about how the Bears were interested in training for Russell Wilson, and then Seattle said no, and they signed you. I'm curious, did you know about that from them, or did you see the reports, and what's kind of your reaction to it?
I was in constant contact with everybody throughout this whole process, so I knew what was going into it, and so I think that was really it. And when it wasn't happening, and this worked out for both of us to to come together and for me to be part of this team, I was ecstatic because I was hoping that was going to be the case, and so but I knew everything that was going on.
We have time for two more for Andy. Adam Johns.
Hey, Andy, say the Bears draft the quarterback, whether it's in the first round or second round or early on coming up here in April, what would that mean to you? And I guess how willing would you be to taking on that mentor role as well as being the starter?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of part of it. I've been the starter and helped the backup, throughout my career. And so I think it's what you can do to help the next guy. We'll see if that's the case and what we do in the draft, but I've got no problem with that.
Last one, Dan, go ahead.
Andy, I was just going to follow up on that. Are you prepared for that possibility that 6 weeks from now that there will be a rookie quarterback that will be on your heels?
We'll see how this whole thing goes, but like I said, I've been a part of that before, and we'll see how the draft goes.
Thank you, Andy.
We're all set, Andy. Thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you all. I really appreciate getting to talk to everybody, and hopefully I'll get to meet y'all and not just talk across a computer screen. So thank y'all very much.